You sure? You sure you don't want me to send you an Uber? You don't want to come over and we'll have brunch tomorrow?
Yeah, you gotta do me a bit for that. Sorry, real quick. So good.
Well,
Bye.
okay. Well, there's no traffic. Think about it. Bye.
Hey, well, hey, bye.
Okay. Bye. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Say if a young black male were walking up the street towards them, when statistically speaking, uh, even if they have an experience at the hands of a black person, statistically speaking, they're more likely to get assaulted by a young black male, the other category. Would it be racist if they made a decision solely based on the numbers or their references? You know, based on I don't know Fox 5 News or wherever they're drawing their references from.
So, I mean, like, you can't say, and you can't say for certainty, but I think the majority of those cases, right, it's gonna matter, like, where you are, like, where your location is. I grew up in an area where I would cross the street if I was walking at night and there was anybody, I don't care what you look like.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Hey Emma, it's John.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
You know, but the thing is, let the statistics tell it. Right? I see it right now. Statistically, bullshit. Let the statistics tell it. Young black males, right, between the ages of 16 and 24, they are most likely to be assaulted, and it's not intrusive, right? Rape is extremely essentially trust that you have with him, and essentially what you are trusting isn't racist, right?
racism that everybody speaks of, right? That's where you're going. Just real quick, Mike Allen, are you there?
Hey, Doctor, cool. This is Communist. Put me in the queue. I've been listening for hours.
That's what I was going to ask, and then Beaver can answer this too. Do we concede that the black community is over policed or not? That's to the white people.
No.
Beaver?
Concede nothing.
Police go where the crime is.
Do you think that we get the same sentences for the same crimes?
And you get restorative justice and CRT DEI justice. You're lucky. African Americans are the most lightly touched population in the country. Judges, Democrat, progressive.
Kitover, why are you making all these fake Trump rooms?
What do you guys have a monopoly on President Trump?
Just
You sound like a Schwartz saying that's weird. Did you become black, Beaver? Are you black now? That sounds weird that you're saying it's weird. That's weird.
Why did you, bro? You had like 5 different President Trump rooms, bro. Like, was you trying to sabotage this room or like what's
Sabotage. Motherfucker, it's called artwork. Look at my PTR. Every picture, every video, every room. It's called motherfucking art. And you are some harsh critics. Wherever an artist goes, critics spring up like flowers. You know how that works? If you're a great artist, you're going to get some pushback by critics. It's called artwork. Hello?
anyways, some weird stuff going on?
He strongly dislikes Pepe, so that's the reason why he's weak.
It's all related to that. Okay.
No, I don't dislike anybody. I don't like the fact that this fucking faggot in Scottsdale named Peter or fucking Terry or Scott or David or Michael, whatever this faggot's name is, has taken over the Pepe brand. He's not motherfucking Pepe. Kekistan was liberated years ago, and Kekistan will always be free, no matter what this Corsican faggot midget says. Long live Kekistan and long live free Pepe.
you making 5 President Trump houses?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with you being a harsh critic and not a creator artist like John Kitover? I mean, take your criticism, go to the art gallery, and buy a piece of art, you fucking broke-ass farts.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's giving RFK realness.
I'm not RFK.
Well, who here is double vaccinated, triple boosted? That's what we got to figure out. Who here has buyer's remorse on the double vax, triple boost? Because Fauci's been outed as a domestic terrorist. That's obvious. Bill Gates, domestic terrorist.
Yeah, but you wanted to speak on the topic, right? So go ahead and say what you were going to say earlier.
Okay, everybody, this is Communist. I'd like to quickly introduce myself before I answer the question. Can black people be racist? I myself have worked with African Americans for over 20 years. I've learned a lot. I think there's a lot of metaphysic when it comes to working with African Americans. And when it comes to African Americans being racist, let's be honest, they're one of the most entitled racist minority groups in the planet. They are so entitled, so privileged. This white structural racism is a lie, but black structural privilege is a truth. They have essentially gamed the system. They are the biggest welfare recipients, the biggest complainers, and when it comes to ICE getting the Mexicans out, they were militant. Get them the fuck out before they take more of what we got. That's what they said. Brown, white, black, yellow, purple, green, it don't matter. Blacks hate everybody. They want what they think they're entitled to, which is free shit. But the truth of the matter is the motherfucking country's broke. So if you think free shit is going to continue for years and decades to come, no. The best years of black America is 20 years ago. Because there ain't no more free shit. We spent it all. So you ain't getting reparations. You ain't getting HUD housing vouchers. You ain't getting SNAP benefits. You ain't getting fucking tax credits for this and that. And you got to pay your taxes. And if your ass don't come into compliance, your ass going to jail. And guess what? Capital execution is coming back. Every African American on death row, they're getting executed. 2 shots in the head, 2 shots in the heart. That's one more bullet than you're entitled to. You lucky, because now we broke.
That's the veterans of America.
That was the funniest I've ever heard John Kitover think.
I want to read you the statistic. It says, yes, extensive research and government data show that black Americans experience significantly higher rates of police stop searches, use of force, and arrests relative to their share of the population compared to white Americans.
What statistic is
Yeah,
that?
The best of John Kitover.
That's just me typing in Google.
It was all worth it.
And the AI overview. That's what the AI overview.
Okay, let me ask that.
What if they commit?
That's so scary. That's who we are as a society. 9 out of 10 people, when they want to know something, that's what they rely on. They Google something and they go off of the AI representative. That's crazy.
I think though somebody brought this into the room the other day, and we were talking about Baltimore City. I don't remember who it was, but Baltimore City, the Department of Justice did an entire, and I'll keep bringing this up because it was news to me. I mean, I just didn't know Baltimore City was that bad, but Baltimore City's insane structural racism was exposed through the Department of Justice, explaining how many times Black Americans were over policed, harassed, terrorized. They said within a period of like I think it was 5 years, they gave 4 or 5 years, they had thousands and thousands and thousands of cases of people being wrongly just arrested and brought down, and then there was no charges that could even be held. Like you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands. So and that's just, I mean, so this is the whole point. The whole point is that we can't think that Black Americans aren't going to be overly policed. I think that is like it's a delusion at this point. We look at and we understand where we were as a society when I don't know how old most of you are, but when I would say at least your parents are alive, people that you know that are still walking around today were born when a time where an interracial relationship wasn't allowed, when you had there are people that are still walking around today that lived through shit where white mobs would go into communities across America and attack Black people. We're talking racial terrorization. We're talking lynching. We're talking Jim Crow. We're talking. It doesn't matter. And what did the police do? Again, the police were, and I like to remind everybody because the people like to sort of forget that this is the origin of it. They were meant for slave patrols, and there's no people they were meant for a very specific thing. So the idea is still built in there. So the police have just been the worst at it, right? And they've backed just regular Americans just going around assaulting, terrorizing, dehumanizing, killing, murdering, lynching Black Bears. It's just like, come on, we already know that that's still a problem. I don't think that a reasonable person would disagree.
What does over policing mean to you?
Over
Can you wait 1 second? Because I asked Gemini something. I asked Gemini, as of 2025 and 2026, is there an attack on white people, in particular men? And it says, indicates that concerns regarding reverse discrimination or anti-white and anti-male bias have grown within specific political alignments, particularly among conservative and Republican demographics. Studies examining long-term trends note that while cultural and political debates frequently focus on identity politics, institutional disadvantage, and diversity frameworks, these debates reflect ideological and political polarization against white men. Statistically, white men continue to hold a disproportionate share of leadership positions in corporate management, government, wealth accumulation, and higher education. This structural reality runs counter to the premise that the demographic is facing systemic disenfranchisement or targeted destruction.
All right, now summarize that in your own words.
Okay, so there's attack on white men.
That's not what that said. What it said is that there's a...
Let her summarize it so we can see her level of intelligence.
Yeah, well, she just...
I'm retarded.
Prove it to us.
Yeah.
I just told you I'm retarded.
Okay, somebody else.
Not her proving that she's retarded. This is getting crazy.
Yeah, that's what that proved, because it literally just said that there is a concern. There's concerns because there's a delusional ass conservatives who want to victimize themselves in the same way that Daddy Trump has done, and then they want to equate actual, real, like hundreds of years of institutional racism based on chattel slavery and the dehumanization and weaponization of a person's skin color, to which, by the way, we still currently have. Somebody could do a room about that. There's current black lynchings that are being done now. There's been quite a few of them as of very recently. So racism, huh?
Where?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, are you done yet, JJ? I was gonna.
Yeah. No. I was just saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, racism is still very much there's black lynchings going on in 2026.
You interjected Trump's name into this. Like we haven't heard Trump's name all night for the most part. Do you think you're saying did Trump add to the structural racism of this country? That's my question to you, JJ.
Absolutely.
You're gonna. That's what I can hear. Can you tell me how you can now see that the structural racism of the country? Yeah.
It means exactly what it is. You have people in police that disproportionately, if something happened, it's likely a black person. People that where police will disproportionately surveil and suspect and enforce bullshit coercive measures in communities or on our black Americans. So you have just more interactions through stereotypes. You have more, the whole driving while black, for example. You have the pretext for what would include a stop. There's a thing in New York, the stop and frisk, right? So there will be just people walking on pedestrian stops, and you still see this to this day. There's this judge, I don't know if he's on TikTok, I don't know where I see it, but then he's this badass fucking judge who is so awesome. We're calling out the racist bullshit, and he'll say like, I watched how many of these racialists can actually make it to this, and the judge will be like, hold on, wait a second, no, this is a bullshit charge. This is walking while black. That's what that is. And then he'll say, thrown out, get out of here. And then he lets people know like what it is. That's what we're releasing.
Crime happens and somebody calls the police commonly assist the white person. It's a black criminal. Like that's what you're talking about, like unwanted engagement from citizens. It's just the police internal somewhere.
Not citizens, upon citizens. So you have, besides the over-policing or the concentration where the police will get their beat or whatever it's called, right? Where they'll control specific areas, but specific areas of black Americans. So I think that because of the origin of what do you think that is? Is there anything, Mike, that you can think of that happened within the last 40 years? Anything that could happen? Was that one?
Yeah, it's like this. There's like a lot of projects in the drugs and stuff.
Complex suburbs, all the race massacres, no housing, all the nation.
I think
police.
I don't think, well, no, I don't think zero police being, I mean, like, it depends on the area. Like, I was born and raised in a city, used to be an all-American city, and it also became the murder capital of New York State, okay? And not even 30 minutes outside of the murder capital of New York State, there are jurisdictions that have zero police department. It depends on, like, where it is, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, police in Southside Chicago are not fair.
No, that's not a right idea. That's my thing, man. It be y'all say it's a lot of crime in these neighborhoods, so they gotta bring the police in. They bring the police in, and the crime is still high. But yet, the reports of police brutality, over policing, all that still rising. So what is y'all really doing? You're not doing nothing other than policing black folks.
So we're not the police are helping the situation, is what you're thinking, Timothy, right?
Not efficiently enough. Not efficiently enough. There's still massive crime that's supposed to be going on, and y'all bringing in all these police. But yet all there is police reports and brutality. People complain about police brutality, like that shit. Y'all not doing shit. Our police not doing shit.
You're not gonna, can I ask, you're with me that you're, because, to tell me if you don't want to, but that police officer, do you feel, obviously, I feel like it wasn't justified, but did you participate in that at all? You know what I mean? Were they insinuating at all, or what,
No, not at all. I was falsely identified as somebody. Like she falsely identified me to be somebody, and when I was like basically kind of like not resistant, I'm like, bro, what are you arresting me for? He kind of just got physical with me off the jump and just kind of slammed me on the ground. Which I mean, when you watch videos, most police officers, if you don't comply with them verbally, they feel like they have the right to just slam you on the floor. You know what I mean? That's typically that's what I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not racist. That's what I asked. That's a racist thing. So, I mean, the real question to me is like, is this a race problem? Like, because when you look at these stats, like 1350, like 13% of the population does 50% of the crime, shut me down. Like, the question is, I think for a lot of black people, is this a race problem? But if you really start looking at the shit, you really see it's not. Because let me ask you this one question to the white supremacy or anybody else listening. Why do only black neighborhoods have more zero crime?
What makes you think there are white supremacists in this room? Are you just assuming that they're in here?
I mean, everybody's on the stage.
He's the only verified one. I mean, unless he's talking to him, I don't know.
But he's
Okay, you're just trying to distract from the point. Do you believe, let me ask you very simply here, communist, I'm just trying to learn. Do you believe that this is a race problem? Like, when we look at the stats and we say, hey 13.
No, it's not a race problem. It's a good versus evil problem. We got people out in this world that are committing evil at scale. And then we got cops that even commit evil at scale. So it's really, the question is, do we want to continue funding the biggest gang on the planet, which is our police departments? But the truth is, in my opinion, the situation is actually kind of perfect in a way, because now we have body cams and we have cell phone cameras. So much of the police abuse is over. Talk to any cop that was a cop in the 70s, 80s, 90s. They wouldn't want to be cops today because everything is recorded. Every conversation you have with your partner is recorded. You used to be your own little judge, jury, and executioner with your fellow, patrolmen in your squad car, and there was no recordings of your abuse. And if you didn't give respect on the street, the cops didn't give you respect. It's everybody understands the laws of physics, cause and effect, opposite and equal reaction. So take your political bullshit. Take your progressive, pluralistic, Democrat, socialist, communist, cocksucking, faggot, pussy bullshit. Tuck it up that clit. Tuck it up in that pussy. Tuck it up in.
Let me ask you a question. Follow up.
William, real quick.
Follow up.
William, the question you shouldn't be asking anybody but the people that have been speaking like Bima or other people your question, because your question is it a race thing or is it basically a class thing? And you're saying that the crime is happening in communities that are not wealthy, which would be poor. So now Bima is saying that it's over policing in the black community specifically, and you're saying it's a class thing, not a race thing. Then now the over policing has nothing to do with racism.
Right? Of course it does, because both can be true, Mike. You can't. They don't have to be separated.
Right. He's trying to ask us about it. Yeah. But really, what he's saying is that you need to justify the over policing because it's not a racial thing.
Yeah, that question was almost more direct.
Well, I mean, you could experience over policing and under policing at the exact same time. So you could see where these low level crimes are being over policed, but then the homicides are being completely under policed. Nobody's even finding out who did the shit. So look, man, that's completely lazy cop out. This is.
I don't think there's over policing.
These are really complex social problems, and to try to frame it as good versus evil is just a lazy cop out.
William, I don't believe there's over policing. The police are needed where they're needed. They go where they're needed.
That's not true, Mike. That's completely not true. Because literally, there's so many.
There's no police.
Let me describe.
You're putting words in my mouth. What I'm saying to you that when you try to frame these complex social problems as like a good versus evil, you're just copping out. It's really lazy.
Because it said a wealthy black community. Is there over policing there? The answer is no.
I didn't say anything about that. I said that why is there no crime why is there very little crime in the wealthy black communities while there's tons of crime in the super poor white communities? It shows that proves that there's not a race problem, which you agreed with. I'm just calling you out and saying that you're completely lazy because you don't actually want to engage with the actual causes of it. Labeling a demographic or a social issue like good versus evil, it just totally ignores the economics, the geography, the incentive structures behind it.
Get his ass, William. Cook that nigga, William.
Again, you're not.
Cook that nigga, William.
Calling people evil requires zero fucking work, zero research, and it offers zero solutions. You can't write a law or build a policy to change a human soul, but you can change economic conditions and neighborhood resources, right? People don't break the law because they woke up wanting to be a movie villain or because they're black. They do it because out of economic desperation, they're pressured by locally by their peers, or they don't have legal options.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, and that's not my position. That's not what I'm saying. Bima is saying that they specifically over police black communities because they're black. I'm saying no, that's not what they're doing.
All right.
Huey, you want to go?
Yeah, you're up. Go ahead, Huey.
Hey, so sorry. I wanted to come up earlier when somebody paused the conversation to ask the question about what does over policing mean, because I actually do think that was a very good question. I think something can be reconciled here pretty quickly in principle in order for us to get to answering that question. So I think that like if there were some they should be arrested and called to like for pennies, like something like for a criminal that commits a crime, he's called like pennies. Right, that would be like pennies and other pennies basically like for a crime that's committed 4 to 5 for some kind of disruption. So for exactly that's not policing disability. It's that policing the opposite of that, which would be for elections.
I think that's what you had. It's just, I really agree that you're interested in, there is racial bias in day-to-day policing. How often on the road does that push you? I mean, do you really think a white driver in a lovely suburb deserves to have the same rate for DUI as a black driver in a neighborhood suburb in Kitover?
That's an easy answer. That's all. Why is this a question?
So okay, so let me answer this. The classified was classified and I was going to make a case for the chance for this is because I don't make a case for just what I say. Everything is as what happened in this situation. Like he was essentially not fucking with the guy and he was essentially jumped straight into school and tried to physically I think that's probably despite the fact that I kind of having this conversation I told him that like that I just said that the story happens far more before black people
Well, let me get the projection mirror out for you, William. I'm gonna roll the projection mirror out, William. Projection out.
If I told you he was running for office in Chicago?
Yeah, I would because the least among us are the people who lead us, right? We are absolutely led by the absolute.
Don't make any assumptions. You know what they say about men that make assumptions, William. Get that projection mirror out and activate the projection detection system. Excuse me? That's a projection. You're projecting onto me.
Anybody who would vote for somebody like you is mentally fucking ill, must have 18 to 30 different kinds of fucking mentally.
You're projecting onto me, William. You're projecting on. This is pure projection.
He's got at least 30 cell phones in his room. They're all hooked up like Hannibal Lecter, monitoring all these rooms and shit. It's quite a sight. Go to his YouTube, check it out.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the chat. I'll put a link in the chat. Yep, you can watch me do yoga in my underpants, so you can increase your flexibility and your strength. Go ahead, William, Dr. William.
He's super intelligent.
Let me ask you a question. So, is expecting your local tax dollars to pay for decent public schools and safe streets? Is that asking for a handout? Is that people complaining?
No, William the Wigger. That's a hand up, not a handout. William the Wigger. Listen, William, I was wondering, is there such a thing as a white N-word? Can you be a white N-word? That's the question of the night.
You got backed into a corner and now you're not.
Backed into a corner. This dump truck's ready to dump. William, you are retarded. Take your stupid suit. Take your stupid.
Oh, you read my mind, Jay. Huey, ask a question, then we'll go to Jay.
So you.
So I don't want to ask a question and then like prolong my speaking time here. Oh, that's fine. Oh, because I wanted to respond to what Beaver said, so I guess you could.
Or yeah, whatever. Respond. No, go ahead, you.
Okay, no, I'll try and be super quick. So Beaver, in what you pointed out about like the tail light hypothetical or thought experiment there, I understand it, but I think there's like ironically there's something that's counterintuitive. If I'm a police officer and I'm in a rich neighborhood and somebody has their tail light out, I should be more suspicious of the person who could afford to easily get it fixed than the person in the like poor community who it makes perfect sense why their tail light is likely to be out. Right, and if like the only reason why I'm really stopping it is to look for marijuana, then there's a presupposition there that's I would say is a bit of an unhealthy presupposition on my part as a police officer in a poor community to think that like the taillights out, therefore it must be weed marijuana because only bad people, right, ultimately have car problems such that like they would need to have those car problems rectified by selling drugs. Like something kind of doesn't make sense there for me that like I would stop the person in the poor community with the taillight out, suspecting that they're doing drugs or selling drugs or doing any of that, and they wouldn't get the taillight fixed. Like drug dealers, like smart drug dealers, would get the taillight fixed so that they don't get stopped. If that makes sense, right? Like,
let me put it this way: a cop that's just started, rookie cop, and then his first 2 years, he stopped, let's say, 40 taillights in a Mercedes in a nice neighborhood, and 37 of the time out of 40, it's been total, like, yeah, it was just a broken taillight that just happened, and he just writes it up, the ticket, and it's like, okay, go get it fixed, or he gives them a warning, versus the 40 times in the other neighborhood. So let's say 10 times there's been drugs or nefarious criminal, cocaine or something. So it's just after a while, he's like, that's what he learns. He learns what to look for him to score a bust.
I didn't even think about that, Beaver. Do you think that's the question? Is that wrong or not? Because like
it's not. I don't think it's wrong or right. It's just the way it is. Like,
how can you say it's not right or wrong? You're talking about cops intentionally targeting somebody because they think that they could get. That's a structural. That's now inside of the. That's the corruption of the law enforcement. You are innocent to proven guilty. You need suspicion. You need beyond a reasonable doubt in order to even stop somebody. You're saying that we're gonna do it on the pretense, right? And this is what I'm talking about: over policing. This is exactly the proof. The pretense that it might lead to something else, and what it might lead to. But hold on. But the whole point is, listen to what you're saying. It's going to lead to a victimless crime. Somebody has pot on them. Oh well, hold on a second now, because now we're talking about how much you think that Black Americans do pot more than white Americans, right? You think. That's what I'm talking about, though. This is what I'm saying. It's going to lead to
and they learn that they're going to get it.
So you think that Black Americans? This is what I'm talking about. This is trash. And you think that they use drugs more than meth head white people or I mean, like, come on, what are we talking?
No, and he said in a nice suburban neighborhood. Now, if you're out in the trailer park area where there's white trash, it's the same principle. They're going to pull those guys over because they're probably learned in Beckley, West Virginia, they're going to know that Skeeter and Jethro, they're in their wife beaters and their buzzed heads and they're tatted up and they're shitty Pontiac and they're driving around with no taillights. Oh, let's get them. We have a lawful stop. We can pull them over, and the search will be legal.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're still talking about the same. You're still saying that you're going to target innocent people. When I say innocent, it's people that have not harmed, are not actively harming any person or person's property. They're minding their own business.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Right. And that's my problem. You're saying that there is no right or wrong. That is wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
It's racial profiling.
That's harassment.
Don't pull over the taillight is what you're saying, or do it no matter what. That's. I would say in a perfect world, yeah, you would pull them over no matter what. But they're after promotions. They're after their own self-interest.
And so you have to identify them as a problem, Beaver. In law enforcement, institutional law.
Exactly. And the other thing is when we talk about police and over policing, there's also the use of force or the lack of use of force. Because when police, and we've seen this how many times, when they're dealing, when they're dealing with black, especially the youth, you see like black kids, the way that they treat black kids versus the way that they treat white kids, it's like night and day. You know, like there is a when it comes to the way that white people are treated, particularly white youth, like um there's so much more like patience, courtesy, and consideration and grace that's given. Whereas, like, they be treating like black kids like they're grown adults. It happens all the time, you know. And the brutalizing and the lack of the just acknowledgement of like that you're dealing with youth. So yeah, over policing rears its ugly head in a lot of different ways. But fundamentally, this is about why is it acceptable for there to be an unequal distribution of policing based on the color of the skin or predominance of the color of the skin or culture or race of the community? Point blank in the period. Oh, and last thing I'll say really quick is if we want to talk about crime, especially with everything going on with immigration and ICE and everything like that, a big part of like why that's going on is because they're saying, oh, they're bringing in drugs. Well, guess who does drugs, and especially the good shit? Rich white people. So why are they not getting the fucking drug lords from the rich white communities? Oh, I wonder why. Maybe skin color?
Exactly. They're racially profiling. Let's not fucking beat around the bush. They want to do fishing expeditions against black people more often. If you don't see that, then it's just like, are you dumb?
But
I mean, there's actually scientific studies too, like through Stanford University, and they show that scientists actually study hundreds of millions of traffic stops with this idea, so that when the sun goes down and the cops can't see the driver's skin color through the windshield, the stops of the black drivers, they just drop right away. So a broken tail light is even easier to see at night. So if it was just about the light, then the numbers wouldn't drop, right? So broken tail lights exist in every single zip code. The difference is that in a wealthy suburb, a broken light gets ignored or gets a friendly warning. While in a black neighborhood, it gets used as an excuse for a fishing expedition, a full car search. But this isn't something that people are making up because they're victims.
But Beaver laid out he took out race with this latest example, and right, Beaver, you said that in a white trash area,
Yeah, like maybe West Virginia or whatever, it's going to be the same.
Exactly. So how do you square that? Because my question is it wrong to do the big, I guess, haul, so to speak, right, Beaver? That's kind of what the claim is. If you know you can get more out of the stop, and you just take race out of it, because it does happen probably in both neighborhoods. I know that's going to be triggering people.
It's probably more in the white neighborhood.
I know, I'm starting to think so too.
Opioids?
But do you think that's the part I'm wondering about? Is that the part that's wrong at all, or no? I'm just trying
Well,
to.
I think the wrong. It's the word. It's the one. It's the people with the broken tail light that are doing the wrong, and they're getting pulled over more. It's like the Arab guy going through after 9/11. He gets pulled over going through TSA. He gets searched more often. He's paying for what other people did, and it's not fair. But that's life. Like, how else would you? It's not right. It's like.
I think either or is not right. A nigga is sitting over here doing some damn opioids, and then you got your drunk drivers, the DWIs. I mean, both of y'all is problems because people are losing their lives based off y'all poor choices and behavior, while y'all sitting here getting behind the goddamn wheel, and now you done jeopardize somebody else's goddamn life. I don't give a damn if it's opioids, DWI. Carrying some damn drugs, like you're a harm to other people. So yeah.
The point for me is that, and I'm not trying to gotcha anyone. Maybe nobody is the racist in the room. I'm just trying to say that if the root cause is poverty. The root cause is a lack of opportunity for both groups, whether you're white, quote unquote, white meth head, or you're in a tough black neighborhood. So what we should be fixing the local community instead of blaming a group.
Poverty has nothing to do with you guys' poor choices. You have rich people all the time making dumbass fucking choices. I mean, like, we're not gonna sit here and act like this is a fucking poverty thing. This is about fucking behavior. How people exhibit patterns. Then after a while, they start becoming addicts. You know what an addict is? Where a person got to keep going to rehab over and over and over.
Yeah, and William, you're doing that touchy-feely thing where you're like, well, it's not race or anything, it's lack of opportunity. We got to fix the communities.
How's that touchy-feely? That's just a...
So that's why I'm going to explain to you. So you say we got to fix the communities, we got to give them opportunities, we got to do this, we got to do that. But then you just kind of stop talking. How would you provide more opportunities? How would you fix the community?
Well, the first thing we would want to do, I've actually raised $2.5 million for disadvantaged youth in my hometown in Selma, Alabama. So that's one way that I've done it.
Well, how did that $2.2 million get used?
How did it get used? For youth mentoring through a YMCA of Selma. So we paired people in the community with at-risk youth. Okay, so saying poverty, and then let me go back to the last speaker, because if you say it's poverty, like if it's not poverty, it's behavior, you're just making a circular argument, right? Crime is a behavior. So saying it's behavior just describes what happened, it describes what happened, not why it happened. Human behavior doesn't...
You just hear what you just said? You sound stupid. I have never. Wow.
Crime is a behavior, and you're just gonna call me stupid.
That's fine. And did you not hear me? Hold on, excuse me, Mr. William Will. Okay. If you would have heard me, if you would have heard me, ma'am, all that, I don't care. Look, if you would have heard me in the beginning of the conversation, right? I originally said, it doesn't matter if you're on opioids, it doesn't matter DWI, it doesn't matter if you get pulled over for a fucking tail light. They're all poor choices and behaviors. I literally said that, but here the fuck you go talking about some damn poverty.
I think they're two different. We're kind of like missing each other on the things. Like,
okay,
we're not missing anything. William's the only thing that's missing.
Because she's calling me stupid. Let me
I am.
Go ahead and argue.
Sure am.
So when you claim that everything's just a poor choice, what are you doing really? You're just treating human beings like robots, aren't you? We just make these decisions in a vacuum. You're ignoring basic biology and real-world economics, man. When millions of people across completely different towns fall into the exact same trap, like the opioid epidemic, it's not a massive coincidence of millions of individuals suddenly deciding to make, quote, bad choices on the exact same Tuesday, ma'am. It happens because the environment, the trauma, the biological addiction, the predatory companies like pharmaceutical firms flooding low-income towns with addictive pills. Intentionally.
Isn't that what the fuck I just said? Without you doing all these damn semantics? I literally just fucking said that.
Ma'am, millions of people got addicted to opioids because doctors legally prescribed them pills while pharmaceutical companies lied about how addicted they were.
No shit. So that's how people can become addicts, because after a while you keep taking the shit. Now after a while your fucking body's immune to it. Duh, I know that.
The fucking estrogen, man, is just spewing all over the room.
And
I think you could calm down. I don't know why.
I'm supposed to have estrogen in my body. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, but you have low emotional regulation.
No, you just lack of intelligence. Well, that's all. That's okay. And comprehension as well.
Let's bring it back.
Don't help him. Don't help him.
We're not really
He wants to look. He wants to try to gaslight me, and just because he can't have the conversation.
You made a circular argument. You said,
sir, you made a circular argument because you pretty much repeated what the fuck I just said without you doing all these damn semantics.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen, you just proved to everybody in the room that you can't lose
You
an
just
argument.
proved
That
to
you freak
everybody
out.
that you can't handle the argument because now you're trying to personally attack me. Come on now.
On an individual basis, people like you get slammed to the fucking ground like cops
Okay.
because you're crazy.
Well, hey, well, guess what? This is why people.
Did you hear that, Matt? He just
it's
became
not
like
because
a
you're black, it's because you're literally.
Look at it, Beaver. I think I triggered him, but he over here talking about emotional regulation. He over here talking about slamming somebody on the damn.
I'm talking
Now, you don't sound like you're not regulating them emotions, sir.
You're gonna get slammed on the
We can tell from the way that you conduct yourself in the room.
Is that
You're the
tuna?
kind of person who, when the police turn around and say that you're arrested, your reaction is, no, I'm not.
I was gonna say, like, if we keep watching these.
Not only is he a racist, he's an abuser as well too. So shit, we got multiple charges we can put on your ass.
So I want to get back though. I want to get back to the over policing. I want to get back to that. I want to get back to. I have a question. Matt, I love you, Matt. I want to get over. I want to get back to. There was an element that I think that we didn't calculate, and that is discretion. If we were to take, because it's, even if we were to take those two different communities, right, there's a level of discretion that police officers are going to use in the white community than they are in black communities. And we see that through statistics too. It's not, why is it that black drivers are stopped 20% more times than white drivers